You had one that talked about what happens at the boundaries. And in your slide, you talked about how things vary within the neighborhood, but you didn't actually talk about what happens at the boundary, where in the case of the Highlands, but I'm sure it happens in many neighborhoods, there's a drastically different price in one neighborhood versus the other. For instance, there are two houses on Mulberry. They're adjacent. They're approximately the same size lot. Everything, anybody walking by would think these are both very nice houses. One is valued at $130,000 more than the other one because they happen to be, unfortunately, on the other side of the line and are considered inside the Highlands. And I know at my hearing you talked about feathering to try to make up for some of that apparent inequity. Now, what triggers that feathering? Is there some threshold amount that you need to see?
Sales would help us a lot.
Well, I don't think you need a sale because all you have to do is look at and you decided, for whatever reason, you decided that one house is worth $130,000 more than another. At some point, a person has to look at that and say something doesn't seem right. So I'm just wondering if you have an automatic.
I know I looked at your house after you came in yesterday, and I know that I can tell you why it was made. In that you were talking about the boundary between Acacia, where you live, and Everett, which is the next one over. Well, the zoning line, if you look at the zoning line of the town, it runs right through those two streets. So basically through the lot lines. So the houses behind you in Everett are in an R15 zone, which is less restrictions than what's in your R20.
Right.
So basically, my question would be to you, are you in the Highlands or are you not in the Highlands?
Well, but what I'm getting at, though, is that it's when two houses are adjacent to each other, they're identical in all regards, and one is valued at $130,000 more than another, something is not right. It just can't be right.
But you'd have to see two identical houses next to each other and tell you why. Because we don't use specialized formulas for people. We would just run the formula, and if that's the way it falls, that's how it falls. We're not out here. I mean, I'm from Tiverton. I don't set